This is not a kid-friendly show.
Yo, what is really good, my dudes? Welcome to another RuneScape news coverage video. So we're gonna go over something that Mod Ramen is working on. If you're not familiar, Mod Ramen was a QA tester that on his TAPP time was working on Next Angel of Death. So prior to Next Angel of Death release, he's now moved on to a full-on content developer. So he now revealed on his next TAPP project he's working on an all-new boss. So we're gonna be going over his tweets about it right now. So the first tweet he came out with says, "Finally worked out what kind of boss I want to work on in my spare time next. I want to do a surface world nature elemental. Oh, and it's TAPP." So yeah, this is a surface world boss around the theme of some kind of nature elemental, which is pretty interesting. Thinking of nature, I think Gothixian related. It's not necessarily that, but that's just where my mind leads to when I hear nature elemental, so that's really interesting. Somebody asks him the difficulty level we could expect from this boss. He says, "I don't know, but the mechanics I'm spitballing whilst walking will make the bravest of people quiver." So while that's extremely vague, we can't really gauge how hard that would make the boss. What we can deduct is that he plans to make it rather difficult. It's not going to be your cakewalk boss. And given that, you know, he did make Next Angel of Death, he knows what he's doing. So he should be doing a pretty dang good job at this boss. I got confidence in him. That being said, somebody else asks, a skilling boss or full combat? Maybe a hybrid? To which he responds, "Gonna try and get a little hybrid going on. No promises though. Taking everything I've learned from AOD and everything else." So there's potential that it would have some sort of skilling elements to it, which, I mean, people are really iffy about that. Some people really want a skilling boss. Some people think it's really a dumb idea. I think if they sprinkle a little bit of skilling into it, as long as it makes sense to the thematics of it, is not the end of the boss. I think they can integrate it in a very nice way and make it feel much like a fight and not a break from the fight just to do a little bit of skilling. You know what I'm saying? I got faith in Mod Ramen that he'll find a balance to it and make it feel seamless in the middle of the fight and have it not feel tacked on. That being said, it might not even be, because he said he will try to do it, but he's not promising a hybrid boss. It could just be full-on combat. If he finds a nice way to do it, however, we may see that in mind. So just keep that in mind. Potential skilling aspects to this boss. Anyways, more info about this when it unfolds. It is a TAPP project, so plus this is the extreme early stages, so don't expect this to be coming anytime soon. In fact, maybe not even this year, but I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. He is now working on a new nature elemental boss on the surface world during his TAPP. Yo guys, so after I made the video and edited everything, we came across new news. I got two new images to go over real quick. Really interesting stuff, and they are telling, so let's just jump right into it. First up, we see this picture. He's currently working on it. Right now it's just mapping out the area. He's still using the Next Angel of Death model. This is just a placeholder model. It's not going to look like that, obviously. But you see the nature boss. We got a combat level of 7,000 and HP of 500k. Now that doesn't mean that's set in stone. That may be subject to change, but it's good to know the kind of range that you can expect the difficulty of this boss. Somewhere maybe below Virago, higher than God Wars 2 bosses. So yeah, between God Wars 2 and Virago is what I would say. He is getting smacked for a melee hit of 4k though, so that's really interesting. I know you're probably gonna be a boss where you're gonna pray melee, or at least the tank will pray melee. I don't know how it's gonna work, but that is interesting to know. It's hitting you pretty hard for melee damage. It is somewhere in the range between God Wars 2 and Virago area, maybe on par with like Rax and certain rages of Telos. We're gonna have to wait and see. So the next image I want to talk about is this one right here. You can see he swapped out the model now for the basic Ents that he blew up in size, and it also uses those root animation things that you get from the evil trees. I assume that's some kind of attack. Again, you see him this time almost getting hit for a 5k, so this thing can do some real damage to you if you're not praying melee, I assume. Like I said, I think that's just going to be the tank role. I'm not sure if it's a single target and maybe he has range attacks or magic attacks that he hits other people around him, but whoever he's focusing on looks like he can hit pretty damn hard with melee. Also good to point out that since it has those root things popping out, just like you would see with the evil level tree, like I said, maybe it incorporates some aspects of woodcutting. Like you said, it does want to try to make it a hybrid boss of sorts. If he can squeeze that in, perhaps they're going to see some sort of woodcutting involved in this. So this boss is actually really shaping up. Let me know what you guys think about it. And that's the additional information I have so far. Anyways, that's it for the video. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you are not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape, then you're already in the right place, my dog. So hit that subscribe button. I promise to keep you up to date on all things RuneScape related. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Peace.